Hey guys, today we're discussing the strongest military in Africa 2022 according to the global firepower. The top 10 most powerful military in Africa. Right from the Second World War in the 19th, every nation of the world has started building its artillery and personnel with the mission of becoming the best, the most formidable and the strongest military force in Africa. If on the global scene, the United States and Russia is reckoned as the world's strongest military base on their armory, the number of personnel and strategies they have had in their possession, what countries in African continents have the best military force in Africa? In terms of weaponry, which country has the strongest army in Africa? The WMD's armory, tanks, fighter jets, nuclear weapons possessions, sophisticated ammunition, among others. The annual budget and personnel according to the Global Firepower Ranking. The Global Firepower Ranking rates every country's military capacities in the globe annually and passes a power index number. Now I want to start with extensive explanation on the best military in Africa, stating their names, rank, military world ranking, budgets, military pin index and other things to know about each country. The number 10 is Libya, Libyan Armed Forces. African ranking, they are number 10. In the world ranking, number 77. Budget of $3 billion. Pin index of 1.2349. The Libyan military force experienced the first civil war in 2011, which bring a halt to the reign of dictatorship Muammar Gaddafi's regime, which caused havoc and therefore restructuring to the country's military infrastructure that was affected during the war, despite an annual budgetary allocation of $3 billion. Libya is still the 10th strongest national military force in Africa. Libya's military personnel of 76,000 span across the ground forces, the air force and the naval force, with over 400 armored tanks and 500 warcrafts, safeguarding over 6 million Libyans. Now the number 9, Kenya, the Kenyan Defense Forces. The African ranking, they are number 9th. In the world ranking, they are 72. In the budget of $550 million. Pin index 1.0631. Poor annual budget of $500 million for the Kenyan defense sector does not delimit them from a list of African top 10 powerful military forces. They are reckoned as the 72nd best military in the world, with active military personnel of over 36,350 armored tanks and 140 warcraft in their arsenal, which rank Kenya as the 9th country in Africa with the strongest military. Number 8 is Sudan, the Sudanese Armed Forces. In the world ranking, they are 69th. The budget of $595 million. Pin index of 1.0051. The civil war-prone country commands some level of command with regards to being one of the top 10 best and powerful military in Africa. Despite the havoc, Sudan's annual budgetary defense is of an estimate of $595 million, with over 24,000 active frontline military personnel and a large chunk of weaponry in arsenal. Now the number 7, the Morocco, Royal Moroccan Armed Forces. World ranking, the 61st world ranking, budget of $3.4 billion, pin index of 0.8244. Morocco is the 7th strongest military force in Africa with the active personnel of 195,800 and an annual budget defense of $3.4 billion. The weaponry command of 1,348 armored tanks and 332 warcraft, making them the 61st best military in the world. Let's go to number 6. Number 6 is Angola Armed Forces. In world ranking, they are the 58th. Budget of $1.5 million. Pin index of 0.8154. Apart from over 3 million of other citizens as certified for military service in Angola. Angola presently boasts of 107,000 active frontline military personnel and 100,000 paramilitary service members based on their weaponry. Angola is proud of 140 armoured tanks and 270 Warcraft, making them rank 6th best military personnel and the most extensive air force personnel in Africa, and the 58th globally. Based on the alliance Angola government have with the Russian, most of their weaponry are procured mostly from the Soviet Union, acquired back in the 80s during prevalent civil war, ranging predominantly African countries and neighbors. The number 5 is Ethiopia, the Ethiopian National Defense Force. In the world ranking, they are the 47th and the budget of $340 million, pin index of 0.7361. The number 5 strongest military forces in the continent, Ethiopia, boasts of an annual budget defense of $340 million, 140,000 ground forces personnel, 3,300 air force personnel, 550 armoured tanks, and 85 Warcraft. Their military strength can be acquired to the noticeably active personnel and their rich arsenal. And despite the fight with in Amhara region and Tigray region by the Tigray rebels, the Ethiopians have built their forces more by purchasing of more Turkish drone and build their military more powerful. Now the number 4. The number 4 is Nigeria, the Nigerian Armed Forces. They are the 44th in the world ranking with a budget of $2.4 billion, pin index of 0.7007. Nigerian Armed Forces is ranked 4th most powerful military forces in Africa, despite the political and leadership fluctuation and non-continuity, corruption, and lack of sophisticated gadgets to combat insurgency and terrorism in the country. Despite these setbacks, the armed forces of Nigeria boast of military strength encompassing close to 1,400 armored vehicles, over 350 tanks, 6,000 logistical vehicles, 300 Warcraft, 25 high-powered naval vessels, with an estimated budget defense allocation of $2.4 billion, which makes our rank 4th best military in Africa. And despite their fight against the popular Boko Haram and IS-led affiliates in Africa, the Nigerian army is still boosting their military power. Now let's go to the number 3, the 3rd most powerful country in Africa militarily. The South African National Defense Force. In the world ranking, they are the 32nd with a budget of $5 billion, pin index of 0.5405. Cruising the latest war aircraft and well-equipped technology-driven naval vessel with an estimated budgetary defense allocation of about $5 billion, with over 65,000 active military personnel and 17,000 in their reserve personnel, 191 armoured tanks, 213 Warcraft, and 30 Naval Strength, which makes the GFP consider them as the 3rd most powerful military in Africa 2022. Now the second, Algerian People's National Armed Forces. In the world ranking, they are the 27th with a budget of $10.57 billion, pin index of 0.4551. With the active frontline personnel of 120,000 and the national budgetary allocation for the national defense estimated at $10.57 billion, the Algerian military forces ranking according to the GFP is rated as a formidable force, being strongest in Africa's militia force. This budgetary allocation positioned them to be one of the most equipped militaries in Africa, with about 1,500 armored fighting vehicles at their disposal, and placed them among the best military power in African countries. They have also signed so many agreements with the Russians and purchasing one of the highest buyer or purchaser of Russian-made weapons in Africa. So Algeria are always buying Russian-made weapons, so which makes them one of the most powerful military in the world. Now let's talk about the first. The number 1, the first on the list is Egyptian Armed Forces. In the world ranking, they are the 12th with a budget of $7.85 billion, pin index of 0.2283. Egyptian armed forces are rated by GFP as the best, most powerful, and the strongest military nation in Africa, among other African countries. Kudos to the size of its armed forces. According to the Egypt military rank on the GFP, their armed forces had in possession 4,767 armoured tanks and over 1,000 aircraft, 211 jet fighters, making them the 9th World Air Force with a total naval strength of 237. The Egyptian soldiers are periodically trained and equipped, yet lesser in terms of weaponry and training quality to the Israeli soldiers, but outstanding in their home continent. Regarding personnel, the Egyptian armed forces possess more than 440,000 active personnel, over 800,000 in reserve, and over 400,000 paramilitaries. Little wonder they are the African military giant with the world's largest budgetary allocation estimated at $7.8 billion, the highest budgetary allocation so far in the African continent, and also in the purchase of major Russian weapons with Algeria. The possession of so many new Russian weapons and armory also make them more powerful with the artillery and forces as well. If you like this video on the strongest army in Africa, please kindly subscribe, like and share, and please leave a comment at the comment section. Thanks for watching, and please, most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. If you have your argument, please leave it at the comment section and leave your opinion there.